Surprise, surprise, mother. The king is back. Surprise, surprise, mother. The king is back.
Don't do that.
You don't do that?
Oh, no, never, never.
Why not?
Against the rule. You know, you're stupid when you do that. Just some English pig with no brain
Dennis,
at all, you know.
Welcome again to another week of the Ray Hyclak Show. It is I, your favorite internet ne'er-do-well, Ray Hyclak, here with you on this Sunday night. A Sunday night that a lot of people thought was going to be a very different Sunday night. People thought that this Sunday night we were going to be talking about what Kingdom Bill Brandon just posted right there, which is Mr. McGregor went to Las Vegas and left with a busted knee, busted pride, and a very, very hurt ego. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Plus, what would the Ray Hyclak Show be without a little Cavalcade of Stories, children? That's right. We're here. We're live. Thank you to the people who watched the live stream last night, especially on like Twitch and Rumble. You guys, speaking of Rumble, I need to start that stream. There we go. Oh my gosh, I forgot to do the stream for Rumble. Oh boy. We don't need that now, do we? We don't need any of that. What is this? Why is this all cut off and shit? Jesus. Oh man, what a week. What a last like 6 months I've had. Oh my gosh, what is this? I am so confused by what's going on here. My God. I'm confused. I'm just gonna take this, remove that. Whatever. I haven't been back in this studio in a while, so it's pardon me for kind of being a little shitty on it right now. Oh man, we were also, I'll give the ghost away a little bit. I was gonna have Bro Plata back in the talk sphere of mixed martial arts online shit. I know we weren't that huge of a thing. I also got to check my mic here, make sure the audio is coming through. No, it's not coming. Of course it's not. There we are. Now we're more on point with the audio. But yeah, I was trying to do Bro Plata today. If you hadn't looked at the what do you call it? The thumbnail. There's Bro Plata logos all over it. I was trying to get Bro Plata reunion for the fact that, one, we just witnessed one of the most underwhelming finishes in the history of mixed martial arts. I mean, that was one of the worst professional fights, or at least at least worst things to happen to a professional fight ever. There's no other way to look at the promotional nightmare that is now the UFC. It's bad. It's not good, kids. I was disappointed. I assume a lot of you out there were disappointed in the finish to UFC 329 last night. And it was sad at some points, because it was just like you watch him running into the cage, or you watch him walking around in the cage, then he slips, and then the next thing you know, the ref's stopping the fight, and everybody's booing and calling fix and calling fucking all this shit. And I mean, it happens, but like this is now where I diverge from the Conor love, from all the, like, I will still love and respect that man for what he has done in the professional fighting sphere. The man has drawn more money than his generations until the bombs drop, basically. If they're smart with it. Usually the younger generation, when the money's made, they blow it all anyway. But dude, like, this whole thing, we were all excited as fuck for it. Don't lie to yourself if you weren't just a little bit excited to see Conor, whether you wanted him to be beaten up or you wanted him to be, victorious in that cage. You kind of wanted to see what Conor McGregor, after busting his leg up, looks like. Right? And when you see it, it becomes last night, you can go back and watch my live stream. I was talking about his walk gait. I was talking about, like, watching him for a limp. Looking back on it, I now know where he hurt himself. It was right before he got into the cage. You see him kind of go, and that's not a good sign. And I'm not talking about right as he was stepping on the pad. I was talking about as soon as he rounds the corner from the locker room, you see him grimace just a little bit as he's like walking out with the fucking shit on, with the flag in the air and all that kind of stuff. But Conor, somewhere, somehow, during the week, hurt his knee really, really bad, or hurt it and then hurt it more doing something in training. Can you account for this every single time? No, you cannot. You cannot honestly look at something like this and say that it was one well-deserved. Whoever says that, you're a little bitch and you have no fucking, you have no real heart and you don't understand. Random question: if dwarfism is real, how come stupid people still exist in society? Dwarfism is real. I mean, it is. But I don't think that has to do anything with IQ. I think that's more inbreeding than anything else. And there's a couple parts of the world where that needs to stop. But it's okay. It's in their book. But the fact that, like, we went through a weigh-in which he was fine at. We went through Darwinism. Well, because Darwinism isn't actually real. It's just a theory, dude. Like, I'm sorry, but survival of the fittest is not always the way it is. It's not always the way it is. Trust me. I've seen it. But like, it's man, I'm so pissed off because, like, I bought into the hype myself. I'll admit, I bought into Conor coming back. I bought into the idea of maybe this is 5 years off an injury like that. Sure, it'll work. Chris Weidman had a career. Granted, he didn't win a lot of fights. That's the shit that was going in my fucking head, dog. That was the bullshit that I was feeding myself for this modern new Conor with the dumb ass mohawk. I hated the mohawk the moment I saw it. Go check the tape. But like, you have to also think too that, like, he's got one more fight on his contract after this. He had to do this. Had to fucking come in and, at least try to get himself over the fucking, threshold. And I mean, when he dropped after that high kick, you could tell he was fucked. And I mean, again, go back and watch the live stream from last night. I have the timestamps are in the description. You can go right to the Conor fight starting and you can see my reaction to Conor dropping. And it was, oh fuck. I like, man, the fact that, like, I don't know, the fact that I got fucking just roped in this time, where it's like I had been so ready just to be like, Conor is Conor. He's got his history. He's got everything that you can possibly think of in the world. He's on boats with men and women. He's on he's in movies. He's playing the bad guy in the remake of Roadhouse. He's in that shitty Modern Warfare game that nobody really played. He's got money. He had the whiskey brand. But, a guy like Conor is a savage. A guy like Conor is a dude who will throw his own career away just because he doesn't want it anymore. And that's kind of what he did. He threw his career away yesterday for little to nothing, knowing he doesn't have any more to give the sport of professional mixed martial arts or fighting in general, I think. Because, like, he did not look like he wanted to be there. He looked off as shit. He looked chunky. Who knows what kind of what the steroids he was on. I don't even know if they make fucking Winstrol anymore, but maybe he was on that shit. You know how to me, like, you can't really trust USADA. You can't really trust any of the fucking, governing bodies of mixed martial arts fucking drug testing. Because, the promoters will pay to have that shit revoked. He has one more fight under contract. I say rematch. Oh, that would be funny. Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor 2 at like 185 pounds. I'd be down for it. Why not? Have some fun. I don't want to see him fight Nate. I'm tired of the Diaz brothers 2, especially after the Nick Diaz fight against Robbie Lawler, where he just came out like Pudge Rodriguez. Like, I'm good. Who wins now? No one. Pulse. Nobody wins that fight. Nobody fucking wins that fight at all. Because not even the fans, not the promotion, nobody gives a shit anymore about Jose Aldo. He's been out too long. He has been out of the game far too long for anybody to really give a shit outside of a Legends appearance for Jose Aldo. And then Conor, again, the bad will now that he has ingratiated from the MMA community. I mean, a lot of us, we bought Paramount Plus this year with the idea that we were probably going to see a Conor McGregor fight for free, technically. No extra cost in the subscription. And we got that. Like, some of y'all pay the $69, nice, a year. That's cool. I wanted Showtime for it. So if I'm going to pay for the UFC, I'm going to make this shit worth it. And I'm going to go balls deep. Really fun so far, actually, too. I'll say check out The Running Man. I did a review on that on this show in one of the episodes. Go back on my playlist, by the way. I got a playlist of all my episodes up there. There's about 32 of them right now. This is going to be the 33rd episode. But if you're joining me right now, I'm talking about the Conor McGregor Max Holloway fight. I feel bad for Max too. I feel really fucking bad for Max. Like, he is one of the only true victims of this piss poor promotional circus that we just saw yesterday. Because, like, he's just showing up to fight. Like, he as soon as he saw Conor go down, he looked at Beltran and was like, "Are you gonna fucking stop this?" His knee's gone. Like, he can't stand up. And luckily Beltran called it, but, like, you just, like, the knee gave out on that stupid karate kick. Like, you don't need to do that. You're almost 40, dude. You're almost 40. Why are you doing like, do a fucking spinning back kick. Cool. Don't jump anymore. Pivots only from here on out. Pivoting only from here on out for Conor McGregor. All right? That's how I'm gonna say this. Right? I'm gonna be honest with you on it. I'm gonna be still honest. I say 2009 McGregor beats to Poirier and all the featherweights, in my opinion. It could. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, even Max 2019 was clearing out that division pretty well. And yeah, dude, it's sad. It's fucking sad that, like, we're here in 2026 and we're really talking about the downfall of Conor McGregor. He's the perfect reason why you don't give trash money. I'm honestly surprised that he's probably going to be studied by financial journals in the future, of just the amount of money that this motherfucker was making. And then he just throws it all away over just bullshit and fighting Floyd Mayweather. Like, that's the career downfall of Conor McGregor right there. I mean, yeah, he had some wins. He had everything, but that Floyd Mayweather fight was sort of the beginning of the breaking in the armor, the idea that he was going to be this golden boy forever, and he just ends up doing coke on yachts. Like, and that's why people, like, when they're angry at me, They want to like chastise me for liking dudes like McGregor. I always tell them I have been watching professional combat sports since I was 7 years old. One of my heroes, Paul Spadafora, the Pittsburgh kid, a couple weeks after fighting Angel Man Freddy, shot his girlfriend. Shot her at a gas station in Pittsburgh. So it doesn't surprise me when guys turn out to just be total scum in the combat sports world because I've seen it for so long. What shocks me is people who watch combat sports and then are surprised when the guys are scumbags. That's always the one that makes me the happiest, especially because it's like it shows that you have such a virtuous idea of the world and what it is that like combat sports to you guys are higher moral than yourself. Like what? They're human beings, bro. They're not, they're dudes. They're women, they're men doing a job that we all wish we could do. Kinda. But never really did it because one, we didn't have the time, one, we didn't have the money, and two, we didn't have the fucking drive to become professional fighters. I wanted to be a professional broadcaster. I do this shit. I tell dick jokes on stage. I'm almost 40, but I do it because I enjoy it, and I appreciate every single one of you for being here. So let's, I want to bring this up using the MMA holes .tv. I'm going to frame this a little better here. That way I can show off a little more. There we are. All right. So let's look at the strikes, obviously, for Conor and Max. Pretty low. Let me just see here. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Again, injury to Conor, second one in a row. I think it's time just for him to go into the sunset. Keep the money, make the money. You take Jeff Bezos's billions of dollars that he gave you, dog, and just go. Just go, Conor. We don't want you to do anything else but maybe show up in the crowd at a UFC event. You know, I don't want you to be around anymore, Conor. It's too much anymore to that was terrible. Hold on. I gotta pop that off. There we are. Perfect. It shows up better on the screen. Yeah, so like I said, with the injury and talking about the opening fight, I feel bad for Max, man. It's not too late. We can be big on YT. Share the stream out, Pulse. Share it out with everybody you know. Share it out. Let's talk about real quick my favorite fight of the card. All right. Terrible. So this was obviously just a clusterfuck. I mean, it a terrible way to, what the fuck is this? I had this nice and orderly, and it just got fucked up for no reason. No reason whatsoever, guys. There we are. Anyway, for me to join. I mean, I could, Pulse. You could get on the link I sent you if you want to come in. Without Tim, there wasn't really a reason to be here.
with somebody else. Just because, it's just, we're here, bro. I'm here just to talk about the fights and what happened. There we are. A little bit more in. Thank you. There we go. So, let's go to the fight of the night. Without a doubt, the best fight of the night was Paddy Pimblett, just because of the fact that Paddy showed exactly why he is a top guy in the UFC. And I'm not talking about, he could be just a top guy in the idea of a perennial champion or championship contender. He could be a guy that you look at as a gatekeeper as his career progresses. He could be a guy that is somebody to test the young bucks as they're coming up and not, I repeat, not give an inch and still look good doing it. And Paddy Pimblett is a fucking nightmare. The dude is a problem child right now. At 155 pounds, there is nobody else that you can see truly right now, besides maybe Islam Makhachev, who is a true issue at this weight class. The Peruvian necktie this kid pulled off on Benoit Saint-Denis will be the stuff of purple belt instructor reels for the next, I'm gonna say, 6 months. There's gonna be so many tutorials on this Peruvian necktie and how to get it and how to put the heels on the back of the body as you're squeezing down. This is going to be shown to casual white belts on reels for the next 6 to 7 months until Paddy wins another fight. It was an amazing thing. Benoit Saint-Denis was just absolutely stupid for shooting in the way he did. And I get it that Paddy was throwing some clean shots and really kind of getting himself going here. But he just shot in against Paddy. Paddy just completely took the neck and then sat down with it and really kind of, mesmerized the crowd. And that Peruvian necktie, when he got it and he actually had the clamp down and he was just sitting like that, brother, that was hot. That was so fucking hot. That was so sexy. It was so good. I love Paddy Pimblett. This fight right here showed you why he's in the top of the light heavyweight or the light heavy. We'll talk about the light heavyweight division in a second because Robert Whittaker is going to be a little bit of a spoiler candidate, I think, in that division. He's not going to be world champion. He's not going to be world champion, but there's going to be lower level guys that can't get past a 205-pound Robert Whittaker. We'll talk. We'll talk more. Chat's open if you want a thing. You see people already in here. Thank you guys for being here. Like, share, subscribe. And just thank you for being here. And I'm talking right now about UFC 329. If you want to go back a little bit, I talked about the Conor versus Max situation. We're just running down the card from here on out, and then we'll do Cavalcade of Stories on the way out. But yeah, Paddy just absolutely showed why he belongs in the UFC and why there is a level at lightweight right now that not a lot of guys are on. And really, Justin Gaethje is one of the only dudes that's there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. I'll bring that up till the tube. I don't know what happened with Cory Sandhagen, but he just didn't look great against Mario Bautista. This was a sort of a piss break of the main event. I zoned out at certain points, and I was watching it on live stream. Like, I was like bored out of my mind trying to like make that fight exciting. And they're both exciting guys. And they had some flashes, but Mario Bautista just did way more. And Cory Sandhagen, great fighter, one of the most exciting fighters in the division, but he just didn't have enough against Mario. Oh my gosh. How about this one? Lonnie Kavanagh versus Brandon Royval. And with about 20 seconds left on the clock in the third round, Brandon Royval showed why he has been tops of the division for so long by tapping out Lonnie Chisenhall. Who? Lonnie Chisenhall. Lonnie Kavanagh. Chisenhall. Lonnie Chisenhall is a baseball player. Lonnie Kavanagh, I mean, kid's young, he was small. It looked like I was saying it during the stream. Royval looked like Kavanagh's karate instructor, sparring with him and taking it easy on him to a point. And then the kid just decided, because Lonnie's a very, very young looking man. He's 27, but he looks super young. Super young. But Royval got the tap with about 20 seconds left in the whole fight. Good on him. Then this fight, friends versus foe. They made it personal, or at least Terrance McKinney did, and he got fucked up for his problems and issues there, dude. But I didn't think Bobby Green was actually going to do this, but he slept Terrance McKinney. And just the punch was beautiful. He just slept Terrance McKinney. It was fantastic. Great win for King Green. Do I think that he's gonna be this is gonna help him in any way? No. I think King Green's come and gone, but he can definitely kind of make himself out to the PFL or one or someplace that's going to want to back up the Brinks truck for him towards, the next couple of years. And a win like this definitely helps that prospect. All right. Let's talk about Robert by God Whittaker breaking the jaw of Nikita Krylov. Nikita Krylov quitting during the third round because Robert Whittaker kept just comboing the shit out of him, spamming X and A or X and square for anybody that plays the fighting games. He was spamming combos. Like, that was a great performance. Robert Whittaker also going to the body a lot in this fight. I think there's going to be a renaissance of body work in MMA that's desperately needed, that isn't just kick related. You guys have got to start really going to the body in MMA a little bit more. I'm noticing it more. But yeah, Robert Whittaker breaks the jaw of Nikita Krylov, and Krylov quits because his jaw was just broken from so many hits. I'm going to say it. I think Robert Whittaker at this stage in his life, 205 pounds, it's a good way to collect a paycheck. Is he going to be a world champion at 205? Fuck you, no. Unless they come up with like a 195, we're not going to see Robert Whittaker wear gold for the rest of his career. And again, he'll just sit there at 205 and kind of be a little bit of a problem on the lower end. Guys are going to come up at 205 who are bigger than him, but he'll be able to kind of keep up with him because he's fast. Like, that was another thing that I noticed with Krylov was the fight was his pace was actually pretty on point. And for a small dude to go up against Krylov the way he did and be successful shows, how much of a veteran he is and how much punching power Robert Whittaker really generates. I mean, he's got more weight to put behind those fucking Kiwi fists. And for him to be able to go in with a guy, granted, again, Nikita Krylov, he's world class, but he's not elite. He is a guy who, they throw newbies at. Robert Whittaker could be that guy. Robert Whittaker could absolutely be that guy. And I think the UFC did him a service and lengthened his career a little bit more by having him go at 205. That way he can, take less fights, but also cut less weight and be a little bit more healthy. So Krylov, I mean, hopefully his jaw's fixed. And yeah, dude, fucking Robert Whittaker wins at 205. Who saw that coming? Not me. All right, let's go down. I missed a few of these fights, but Gable Steveson, I always thought it was Gable Stevenson, but it's Gable Steveson, knocked out Ellison with a big ass display of striking that I didn't know he had. He was showing off a little bit. He was kind of telling John Jones, look at me, motherfucker. And for, Steveson is 4-0 now in mixed martial arts, 3-0 in lesser leagues, now 1-0 in the UFC. If he wins the UFC heavyweight championship of the world, it was an all-time record 109 degrees today. And in Utah, I'm sorry, buddy, it was like in the 80s here. I really didn't look. This is pre-recorded AI. No, not yet, Casey. I want to actually have one episode in case I'm sick where it's an AI thing, but it looks like me. It pronounces stuff the way I do, so wrong. And definitely I'd love to have an AI thing, but a lot of the backgrounds AI. I do AI for the backgrounds. I write the stuff, the descriptions are AI because I can't afford writers. If I could afford writers or producers, I wouldn't have to use AI, Casey. I wouldn't have to, but I do. Oh, I do. So anyway, Gable Steveson now has to climb the ranks of the UFC heavyweight division where Cyril Gane waits for him at the top of the ladder. I got to tell you right now, without a doubt, if Gable Steveson, or I want to say Stevenson, Gable Steveson gets his hands on that UFC heavyweight belt, nobody's taking it off of him until he retires. He will go down better than Khabib ever was in mixed martial arts because of how high level wrestling he is. I mean, DC isn't there anymore. He's not young enough to fucking fight Gable. John Jones is his trainer unless they start doing WWE fucking angles all of a sudden where he hits him with a fucking chair in the cage and says, I'm coming for your belt, bitch. I don't see John Jones fighting Gable Steveson, but I can see him clearing out the division, being the greatest heavyweight of all time, better than Stipe ever was. And I say Stipe Miocic is the greatest heavyweight of all time just because of the fact that he cleared out the division when it was at its weakest. It's at its weakest right now, too, for Gable Steveson. And Gable Steveson could up everybody's game if he fights smart with every opponent, doesn't go in like he did with Ellison. You can't do that with a lot of guys in the heavyweight division. You just cannot. There are too many one-shot, one-hitter quitter guys. Derek Lewis is gone. I don't count him anymore. After that White House fight, Hocus is the greatest heavyweight of time. Right now, it's Stipe. But you bring up Josh Hogan. That, to me, would be one of the greatest rivalries in the history of the heavyweight division once both men get to the top of the division. I could see that being a number one contenders fight, Gable Steveson versus Josh Hogan, or Josh Hogan being heavyweight champion and Gable Steveson just utterly dog walking Josh Hogan, and then them having a trilogy. I could see that being the next great trilogy in UFC history in the heavyweight division. You need that. We're in an era of mixed martial arts where we need these trilogies to be in the sport to make it interesting. And you got to have two guys who need each other in the ring and outside of the ring to draw. And Josh Hogan being the Incredible Hulk, fucking awesome. And then you got Gable Steveson, All-American boy, All-American. Man was an Olympic gold medalist during the pandemic in China. He's the greatest Olympic wrestler of his generation. Is surprisingly good at not getting knocked out. I'm aware, but Gabe can wrestle. Hogan can too, but Gable Steveson is the Olympic champion wrestler of the 2020 Olympics. Granted, yes, that was almost a decade ago. I get it. But Gable Steveson now is in his prime, on his way up, and he is going to be one of your top stars in the heavyweight division. And we've needed it. We've needed it since Stipe, dude, because Stipe made it interesting because he came in just as a fucking blue-collar, white trash dude from Willoughby, Ohio, and fucking fucked the world up and ran through everybody. Gleefully ran through everybody. All in the name of Cleveland. And now we got Gable Steveson, who is an absolute savage. He stole Ellison's soul. Pure and simple. And for me, I think this is Dana White's promotional wet dream. He's waited for this longer than he did for DC. DC came with Strikeforce. Gable Steveson took the Olympics, then the WWE for some reason. I don't know why the WWE signed Gable Steveson. To me, that was one of the dumbest moves in the history of professional wrestling, was hiring Gable Steveson just sight unseen just because he was an Olympic gold medal wrestler. It doesn't mean he's going to get the fucking sport. He will get cage fighting. He will get mixed martial arts, and he will slowly become the GOAT of the heavyweight division in the UFC, and probably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time in sport history. Yeah, but Hogan made it to the NFL, which is harder, which is arguably just as, if not, I'm not saying that it's not hard. That's why I'm saying I kind of expect these two guys, Josh Hogan and Gable Steveson, to be another rivalry. So it'll be Stipe versus DC, and that'll kind of be what we get with that. And I'm really excited for it because I hope that it goes 2 or 1 each, and then you get a third fight, and the fucking rubber match is even better than the other two. Those two guys probably will need each other at some point for promotion, for money, for all that. Hogan and Gable, going to be awesome. All right. Jesus H. Christ. Speaking of Jesus H. Christ, the man with the sword on his face lost everybody. Cody Garbrandt got slooped. Surprise.
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker. The king is back. Surprise, motherfucker. The king is back.
Anybody surprised by that? Anybody surprised that Cody No Love Garbrandt fucking lost again? I'm not. He's done. He's been done, dude. Since the divorce, he hasn't been the same. Not a lot of fighters who go through divorces have great careers afterwards. A la Mike Tyson. Cody Garbrandt's another one of those guys. And he's worse because he's Ohio trash. That's even worse than like Brooklyn hood. I got to fight for everything. You're just with a bunch of dumb, dopey white people. And Cody Garbrandt is the sum total of an entire county. Like, it's on the way down, man. It's on the way down. Adrian Yanez fucking cracked him, sent him to the ground, and it was over. Cody lost. The PFL he goes. He should be cut, to be honest. At this point, like, he doesn't need to be here anymore. He's kind of just holding on for a paycheck, and he's one of those guys that I wouldn't pay anything for, but that's just me. All right. And then I came in right here. Kamaka versus Luke Riley. And Luke Riley, again, English guy, stole the soul of his opponent, Kamaka, with a with at about, was it 257 or 157 in the first round? The whole main card was beautiful when it came from prelims to the main card, except for the Conor McGregor fight. Cody always seemed confused about his own identity. Now he's super nice guy, but his nickname is No Love. He would have just been better off being a fighter instead of like a fucking, fake hood guy when you live in the country. Like, the dude lived in a very rural part of this country. Very rural. Southeastern Ohio is farm country, basically, once you get past Akron. No, Canton. Once you get past Canton, Ohio on 71 South or 77 South, forget about it. You're seeing fucking trees. You're seeing fucking cows everywhere, horses, back roads that lead fucking one way in, one way out. That's where Cody Garbrandt lived. Don't let the fucking and the tattoos and shit. He lived in a fucking white trash hood. That's all it was. A rural hood with no fucking black people in it. We've looked up the demographics of where he lived. Super white. I live in a more diverse area of the country than Cody Garbrandt ever did in his whole life. So, again, he should be gone. But, shout out to Luke Riley for actually being able to Cody, one horse town Garbrandt. That would be kind of funny. That would be. But yeah, Luke Riley got the victory. And I'm going to real quick take this off. Ooh, excuse me. I got like one story I want to talk about in the Cavalcade of Stories. So while I'm doing that, while I'm looking up that story, I'll just play the opener.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Tonight we bring you 3 rings of spectacular entertainment.
That's right. The Cavalcade of Stories is where we go for a lot of stories I find, because they come through my feed and I feel like you should be tortured as well. That's right. It's Cavalcade of Stories. Let me change that. Boom. I'm going to take that ticker off. Hold on. Control A. Tick, boom. There we are. Okay. So, I got stories I have to tell you. Saved them too. Where is it? Oh man. Trying to find the story. So if here we are. Ha! I love this story. I can't get enough of this story. And it's the subject of the only Cavalcade of Stories story that I have tonight. Let me bring that in. Boom. I love how it says accused, by the way. Man accused of cutting his own genitals off and using them to start a fire. in his garage, by the way, is where the fire was supposedly happening. Fort Wayne, Indiana, home of the Comets. Let me see if I can. Is that better? Yeah, I feel like that's good because I can read it. I assume you can too. Let's publish it up or just bring it up just a little bit more. Actually, let me check here. Yeah, it's on the screen. It's on the screen here. All right, Fort Wayne, Indiana man is accused of cutting his genitals off and using them to start a fire. Christopher Peden, love that name, is charged with 1 count of arson, which carries potential prison sentence up to 12 years. 12 years? Wow. I would think it's a lot more just because you can hurt people. I guess Fort Wayne plays around a little bit with that fire, huh? Firefighters were dispatched to a garage fire in May, while at the same time authorities were called to report reports of a stabbing. Peden told police he was stabbed somewhere downtown and that someone had threatened him the day before. While at the hospital, Peden allegedly told an officer he was dishonest at the stabbing scene and wanted to be truthful. And he said that at about 2 a.m., he went into the garage and used a kitchen knife to cut his dick off. Peden said then poured gasoline on the dismembered organ and set it on fire, leaving the garage and walking away until he found police. While investigating the scene, officials found gasoline containers and 4 lighters. 4 lighters! You're just one. Shit, use your stove and a fucking piece of paper, you goddamn lunatic, as well as the kitchen knife, which cut his dick off. Court records do not detail where the genitals are. They're ash, bro. He burnt it. He burnt his penis. And not burnt his penis by pressing it up against something. Cut it off, Lorraine Bobbitt style, and said, yeah, I'm going to think. There's self-hatred in that statement, by the way. There is a lot of self-hatred and a lot of mental illness left with this guy, and hats off to him, by the way, for taking himself out of the gene pool. So none of us really have to. But man, you're just a cute boy, aren't you, with that shit? Like, wow. Interesting. And you know what else is interesting, ladies and gentlemen? It's as I block that user, it's this show. We've reached an hour.
Ladies and gentlemen,
don't need that. Reached an hour. Let me see if there was anybody, by the way, that went to the Buy Me Coffee. There's a Buy Me Coffee link in the description. And nobody did. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's the links in the description if you wanted to go to that. Venmo as well. Any comments left, I'll read on the next show. But until then, what have we learned? Conor's done. UFC, he's got a lot of work to do, but they put on good shows. And I think the biggest lesson I always want to give to people, always, is that no matter where you're at in life, no matter how bad you think life might be, all you have to think is everybody gets bugs. Thank you, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Peace.